Hit record. Excellent. We are recording. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I am Laura Lee.
And I'm Helena. And today we have a guest, someone that I know, but Laura has never met. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Fanny, and I'm a colleague to Helena. And I've been bugging Helena for a long time of like, when can I be on the podcast?
Yes.
She's like, I put you on the wait list. So I was like, okay. So yeah.
That's exciting.
And here I am.
Yes, today just aligned perfectly.
Yeah, and I was so surprised it was today. I was like, oh yeah, actually I'm off work and I can do it.
You know, for booking people, that seems to work the best for us since we are in clearly different time zones. Sometimes it's just like, hey, are you available in an hour? And people are like, yes, I am. And it just works really well for us that way. We probably should get more professional about it eventually, but
this works.
Who decides what's professional? I'm like,
and we're on the other side of the world from each other, so we get to be flexible, you know?
Exactly.
So where in the world are you at right now, Fanny? You are in Stockholm as well?
Yes, I'm in Sweden, in Stockholm, and yeah. So Helen and I are in the same time zone.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So we talked a little bit before we started recording. So you are kind of an astrology virgin here. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive into your chart and take that virginity from you.
All right.
Totally.
And we're going to introduce you to a very cool way of understanding yourself in a whole new way. And if you have any questions or anything, let us know. But we usually just kind of dive in and start gabbing away. So here we go. So Fanny, you were born on a Tuesday, April 20th, 1993 in Stockholm, Sweden. And you were born at 1:12 in the morning. Is that all correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. So we're looking at your chart here, and all of these planets on the inside of the circle are the planets' placements the moment you were born. So that's kind of everybody's kind of this moment frozen in time and of the energy of the universe. We kind of get that program or that download from all of the planets. And so we get to go through life experiencing these planetary energies, and then they get affected by these green planets on the outside, and those are the transiting planets and where they are in the sky today as of this recording. So does that all make sense for you?
Yeah. I don't understand all the symbols and stuff, but I know a few of them, but yeah.
That's our job. Don't worry about this. We'll interpret the symbols, but I feel like it makes a lot of people don't even know what astrology is at all at the base level. So I like to kind of start with that. So Helena, when you look at her chart, what jumps out at you?
All of the Aries. You have a lot of fire. You have a lot of fire. You have your sun, your moon, Mercury, and Venus, and an asteroid. Is that Ceres?
Yes, that's Ceres at 2 degrees.
So that's a lot of placements in Aries, which gives you a lot of fire, a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like action-oriented, starting things on your way to stuff all the time, and like having a lot of ideas.
So
yeah, I'm very impatient.
I feel you, honey. I feel you so much. Yes. And
I'm like, come on.
You incarnated in this life to learn a little bit more about Aries, but you almost got it figured out. Your sun is at 29 degrees and 54 minutes. You are like on the cusp. Like in 6 minutes, you would have been a Taurus.
Yes.
But your soul was like, we got some shit to learn.
Yeah.
Nope. Stay here. We're doing Aries one more time around. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is that it took 1 hour and 20 minutes from the first contraction for my mom until I was out.
Girl, that's such
So I was in a hurry. I was like, no, I need to catch this.
I'm gonna
catch
be an
this minute. Yeah.
This is happening right now.
Yeah.
That is funny. My sister said she has a similar story about her Aries baby, that he was just super fast on the way out. Like when he was born, he was just really fast.
Yeah.
So I guess that's an Aries thing.
Such
So
Aries
Aries, so
energy.
impatience. Like, I
Yeah.
want out now.
So when we look at your chart, that's the first thing that jumps out at me is the elements, right? So I look at, you got fire, air, earth, and water here, and there's a lot in the fire department, right? But you've got 2 things in air and 2 things in earth. The 2 things you have in air happen to be, I think, some of the most influential planets in our life, Jupiter and Saturn. So if you're going to have anything in air, having the biggest planet Jupiter there is a good thing to have. So Jupiter brings all kinds of benevolence and good luck, and he's the first thing I noticed in your chart because he's hanging out here in the sign of Libra. So that means you really have good fortune, good energy when it comes to relationship and creating balance and harmony in your life. Now, that doesn't mean you don't struggle because it's in the 8th house. So this is all about transformations. So you get to keep transforming and renewing yourself in a really big way in relationships. How does that show up for you?
Right.
It
How
could be
does that show up?
friendships, it can be parent relationships. It's usually like one-on-one. It could be lover relationships, but there's usually a like really big expression in this relationship balance harmony category. It doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
relationship with other people either. It could be relationship with yourself and finding healthy boundaries. And there's all kinds of ways we can do relationship. You know what I mean?
So the thing that pops up for me is that pretty much all, like as long as I can remember at least, I've had a sort of a distance, like I've built a protection wall around me, and it's only the last few years that I've started to make that crumble. And so I'm thinking that that's like a long, slow, like huge process of like actually finding belonging within myself and then with other people as well, because allowing myself to belong. And and so yeah, because like, and I mean, I guess I've also had like well, like, but I think that's, I don't know if that's normal, but like having friends for quite intensely, and then you move on, and then like you just, your lives sort of separate, and then you go.
It could be normal for you, but not necessarily
Yeah.
for everybody, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody's friendship realm and relationship realm is different. Yours is not only in this giant Jupiter in this relationship category, but it's also opposite the planet Venus that rules relationships. So I think that's really interesting because
Wow.
there is going to be this energy between these 2 planets that causes kind of this seesaw effect where yes, you're really in relationship for like really hot and intense, and then suddenly it's gone. And then
Yeah.
you're in a relationship and then suddenly it's gone. And it's
Yeah.
almost like the boat rocking too much on the ocean, right? It's a little,
Yeah.
it's a lot. That's
Yeah.
because you have air energy, which with Libra, which is huge in Jupiter energy, and then you have fire energy. So think about fire and air. It's an elemental combination that burns real hot, real fast, and then it burns out.
And I'm also
Yeah.
thinking about the fact that Aries represents very much the I, and then Libra represents the us. So I'm guessing that you go in between that a lot, like, oh, us relationship, I want to be there for the other person, for my friend or whatever. And then, oh no, I want to fill my own cup. I have things I want to do. You know, I have to put myself first.
Yeah.
And going in between that, and also with that Jupiter and Libra, I'm guessing that could sometimes make you. Libra doesn't like confrontations. It's very uncomfortable, and that could make you go out of your way to avoid confrontation, and then, you know, putting yourself second or third. But that Aries in you really needs you to put yourself first.
And loves
Yeah.
confrontation.
Yes, and loves confrontation.
Thinks it's fun, actually.
Yeah.
So again, you've got this seesaw effect. Do you feel that inside of you?
Yeah. And like going from extreme people pleasing to like, shit, I can't take this anymore. I need to like isolate completely and like not be around people. And then I'm like, people, no. Like,
Yeah. That's exactly what it would be like. You also are speaking to another energy in your chart, and I know Helena will look to this one too. Saturn is your other planet you have in the air element, and the air element is the people element. That is where people are really important in your chart when you have signs with planets, air signs with planets there. So you've got two planets, and one of them is big and giant, Jupiter, and lovely and learning, lots of learning and really growing. So you're constantly trying to figure this relationship thing out. And you have Saturn down here. Now, Saturn is, I like him. Some people don't. He's the planet of authority and discipline and maturity. So, like you said, you're kind of growing into like coming out of your shell. I think you used the word, right? With people. That's very much a Saturn and Aquarius thing. It's going to take you longer to warm up to people. He just makes you wait. Like he really makes you earn it and learn and work for it, right? And Aquarius is the weirdo sign. So this is where you actually need to be weird, but he's going to make you feel weird about being weird.
Yeah.
And I'll be uncomfortable, you know?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. The only thing is that like I think people see me as a very open, and like they feel like they get a connection, because I've had a lot of instances like that in my life where people are like, oh, we have such a connection, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, because I'm like open and I talk and I tell, like I have no problem talking about details in my life to people, and like as if we're having a deep conversation, but energy wise I know that I'm miles away. Like I don't let them in energy wise, but I'm pretending like I'm letting them in, and I can have a like I could put on this kind of, it's almost like working in service actually. Like
you have
people pleasing.
You have a lot of placements in your chart that lend towards that type of energy. First of all, your rising sign is Sagittarius. So the rising sign is the sign, the constellation that was coming up in the east on the horizon the moment you were born. So your rising sign is Sagittarius, which is a Jupiter ruled placement energy, and it's very jovial and it's very optimistic and it's very out there, outgoing. And then you've got Jupiter in Libra, but it's in the 8th house, which is a scorpionic energy. The houses are the area of life that the energy will manifest. So scorpionic 8th house energy is kind of pulled back a little bit. And so you can easily put on a front with Jupiter and Libra, but then not reveal all of your secrets that are 8th house, like dark secrets and like the inside of yourself, right? And then your Gemini energy over here, which is people, like people just see you and like you. This is the start of your 7th house, which is your partnership house. So this is where people do really start to see you and work with you. So it's a very charismatic energy, having Sagittarius rising. It's very charismatic when you work one-on-one with a person with Gemini in the 7th house. And this is very charismatic, but there's a depth to you that, like you said, you don't allow people to see, especially with Capricorn hanging out in your 1st house, very serious. And then Saturn in your 1st house in Aquarius, very serious about being unique and independent. So there's a lot of like seriousness under the surface. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's weird that I could say the same words as if I'm telling my deep secrets, but it's like I've disconnected the energy of letting that person in, even though I'm that, and I don't want to sound like I'm manipulating people and making them think that but it's just I think it's a protection thing that like I want to connect, but I also am so deeply afraid of it that I'm keeping that frame up. And then I know that I can be in, like, when I put on my people pleasing mode, I can be very charismatic, and like people will explain, describe me as the sunshine, and I'm like, yeah, like, and very Aries, the fire, like all that. But yeah, I can definitely see how the there is a depth that not a lot of people are allowed to see.
And I think also with that Jupiter in Libra, because Jupiter is now the planet that actually rules your chart, because your ascendant is in Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Sag. So this is like Laura said, a very important placement in your chart. And with Libra, a lot of people are drawn to you because you are warm and like you have this safe feeling. So a lot of people, I can see how a lot of people are drawn to you and they're like, we're friends, we're super friends, we're really good friends. And then you're like, I'm just being my normal regular self, going and buying a milk, but okay. Other people, because you have so much Libra, they are very attracted to that, like the gentleness of you. So they feel safe, I guess, around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And eighth house energy, scorpionic energy, is an energy where people do feel like they can reveal their deepest, darkest secrets to you.
Yeah.
Like it is.
I was just about to say that, like,
where people feel like they can just unload on you and they know you will hold that for them, that you are a safe space for them. You don't feel that it's reciprocated, right? Like you don't pour your deepest, darkest secrets out to them emotionally, but you verbalize it, and you have the ability to intellectualize your feelings big time, because you've got Mercury at 6 degrees here and your moon is at 7 degrees. So Mercury is the planet that rules our intellect, how we communicate with people, and the moon is our emotional internal world. And when they merge together, you essentially get a very mercurial emotional processing, which I have. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am very much able to separate my emotions and my ability to communicate my emotions. That is a very Mercury centered thing to do emotionally. My moon happens to be in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So when I feel my feelings, not many people get to see that. That's allowed for very select few people. Maybe Helena's seen it once, my husband, my mom, my kids. That's about it. I express my feelings verbally, no problem. It is an ability to disconnect. It's a superpower in one way, and you have to work to reconnect the emotions, and that can get hard sometimes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
There's that mercurial ability to separate. And we have, as we grow and mature, we have to realize that they do need to be blended together at some point, so that you can emote and get the feelings out and not just chat about them.
Yeah. It's funny because like I've studied acting for like 5 years. And that was my like crash course in feeling, like just letting myself feel. But like countless times my teachers were like, stop being in your head about it. just feel it, just do it, just go out, do it. And I was like,
now,
but
if
I
you
need
would have
like
had
I
your
need
birth chart, if you would have had your birth chart, you could have said, actually, I can't stop being in my head, it's in my chart.
Yeah,
exactly. And I would have needed it, because I was like, but I need to understand it like this first so I can let myself go. And I was like, oh, but they were like, just let it go. And I was like, no.
This is where astrology
I need to be in a safe space. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can understand yourself. And Aries actually rules the head, and you have a lot of
that too.
placement in Aries. Yeah. so that too. Yes.
Yeah. I've had to work hard to be in my body, and I am doing that work to actually let myself experience it like deeply and through my whole being.
Okay, let's chat about that. You do have to work really hard to be in your body. There is 2 planets in Earth in your chart. One of them is the planet of nebulousness and spirituality and woo-woo, which is Neptune. And that's right next to Uranus by 1 degree. And that's the planet of weirdo, alien, eccentric rebelliousness. And that's the only Earth you have. You have nebulous spiritual next to weirdo rebellion, and they're like merged together in Capricorn. And that's it. Like, it's really hard for you to be in your body because it's so nebulous to you. It's almost, it's foreign for you, is how I would describe that.
Yeah, definitely. It's very confirming to hear somebody, as you say, someone else say that. It's like, it's because like no wonder my internal world and my like the spirituality is so vivid and so big, and like there's no boundaries at all. And then like getting it into this physical reality is like, oh, why is it so like it doesn't want to come here? Like what's going like it's just, but like in my head and in my like in my mind, it's just so different. Yeah.
And those two planets that Laura just named, your only Earth planets, they are also in the house of the physical body. The first house is the house that represents the, you know, the eye. It's the first thing that you have. So you have Neptune, nebulous. You have Uranus that's like all over the place. You also have Saturn in the first house, so that's a lot of not so easy placements to have for your body. Like, how do you get in touch with your body? What do you find
great question.
helps?
What do you find helps to get into your body?
What I just did, breathe.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. And I love like a shaking meditation, to just like get the energies of the body moving.
What about dance?
Yeah, dance as well. And to just like, because I can miss that about like with acting, for example, to have the improvised movement, not having it to be specifically a dance. It's just you just move, and it could be super weird, and it could be like you're like an amoeba now, and you're like in this energy, and it's like, but just let your body move through that energy. And I've told myself many times, like, oh, I just need to bring that into my everyday life now, the way I had in acting school.
Absolutely.
But yeah, planning. But yeah, that is one of the things that really gets me into like the now and like being in me, to get to be weird in my body.
You said something that was really important. You said, getting into my body, doesn't matter if it feels really weird or if it is really weird. I'm going to actually encourage you, the weirder you move, the better.
Yeah.
Right, Helena? Right?
Yeah.
With Uranus here, Uranus is, I can't describe it any other way. It's super weird. It shows up in the strangest ways, at the strangest times, and just triggering the strangest things. It's supposed to be sudden change and movement and weird activity, right? It's also the planet that rules our nervous system. And the nervous system is our fight or flight response, our stress response. So for you, when you are feeling stressed, movement of your body is in a weird dance ways, like ecstatic dance, right? Like turn on some Black Eyed Peas and get, whatever, start your twerking, whatever works. I don't care. But that is going to be really beneficial for balancing your nervous system, for calming that fight or flight energy down. If you're mad, you really should turn on music almost immediately, because it will diffuse the bomb.
Right. Yeah. That's like, I can definitely see that working for me. Yeah, 100%. And you remember the other day at work, Helena, when I came in and I had a lot going on, and then we just was like shaking at the back, and you said, like, now something you let go of something. Then I was like, yeah, and then I was like, okay, there, and then I was ready to go out again. Yeah. And also in the beginning. Yeah, sorry.
No, I always think of dogs, like when they're shaking, like they just shake off that bad vibe, and that's what we need to do as well.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm super interested in like TRE, like trauma releasing exercises and all that stuff. It's so interesting to me how we have so many biological like reflexes that we have like suppressed and don't use anymore. But do you also remember, Helena, in the beginning, like when I started at work, you did like these weird movements when you were around me. Like, it was sort of like mirroring.
Yes.
You were just like doing stuff, and everybody was laughing. I was like, and you were like, no, I don't know. I just need to do this around her.
It was so weird. Like when Fanny started working with me, in the beginning, I would just like, when I started talking to her, I would turn around like, okay, so Fanny, like talking about work stuff, and then I would just be like, oh, like just act super weird, and that would make me really uncomfortable. Like I'm at work, but I'm doing this like weird
and then I just joined you, and we were like, yeah, okay.
like, I don't know why you bring that out of me. Like it was something in me that I guess the Uranian in me was really like triggered by that.
This is an interesting relationship thing, because Helena, your planet of chaos and woo-woo, they're close together. They're in the 12th house though, right?
Yes.
So that is a house that is the area of life that's hard for us personally to access. And it easily gets activated by another person, right? So yours, Fanny, is in the first house of, hi, I'm here. So like you showed up, and then Helena's like, oh, it just,
I can be weird too.
so that's how people get drawn to each other, right? You don't know what it is about that person until you look at your chart, and then you're like, oh shit, there it is. Look at that. You activated Helena's weirdness.
Yes, because your weirdness, sort of your Uranian side, will, like, mine is very deep within, and yours is sort of like on the outside. It's your body. Yeah, you can be like, and that's who you like. Hello, you can be like that, you know. And I love that.
And I've always been like, oh, it's the actor me, but then I'm like, yeah, apparently it's the Uranian me.
Which makes you the actor.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. That's so
Isn't
interesting.
that intriguing? So another thing to recognize too is, how do you I have a question before I go on. How do you process, or how do you show anger?
I quite easily cry when I'm angry. Yeah.
I was waiting for that one.
And I quite rarely get really angry, but when I get angry, I get angry. Yeah. Like, and
when you get angry, does your nervous system get really really, does it stress you out really bad to get angry? Or do you get angry when you're really stressed? Are they connected?
I don't know, actually. Like
I mean, they are connected. I can see it, but I'm asking you in real life, have you made that connection?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Like when I'm stressed, and like first there's frustration, and then that could be like, I can sound more angry than I want, maybe.
Oh yeah, Mercury and Aries. Oh yeah, you're gonna definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no, they are connected, but like, as a friend of mine said, like, she was like, I don't think, because we were talking about something and I was really angry. She's like, I don't think I've ever like properly seen you angry. And it's like, it's almost like a superpower to like not just like leaking it every here and then, but then like when you're angry, it's like,
yeah,
like yeah.
So
yeah.
You want to learn about that in your chart?
Yes, tell me.
Helena, you see it in there with this Mars in Cancer? So Mars is our planet that rules our anger. And then you also have a lot of energy in Aries, which can get really angry really quick. So I'm looking at Mars right away, because Mars is in Cancer, and Cancer energy is really not angry. They can get broody and moody, but typically they don't really get angry. And it's a very nurturing, mothering, healing, feeling energy. So when Mars is here, it doesn't really like it, because the water kind of puts out the fire, right? But just like an underwater volcano, it can blow, right? It really can. So you have to be mindful, because with Mars over here in Cancer and being opposite your nervous system in Capricorn, what I can see is that you will store a lot of stress in your body, and it really will need to get like earthquake rumbly, like really, really explosive before it then out the volcano, out the ocean floor, the ocean, right? From the ocean floor. So, but it's really your nervous system that is the trigger. The kicker for your chart is that anybody born in your time frame that has these two together, Uranus and Neptune, this is a generation of people that almost doesn't even know how to feel their own stress levels. Like their stress levels will surprise them and take them by surprise, because Neptune makes things really cloudy or foggy. So I'm imagining you've been in fog in your life at some point, yeah? And
like,
in
yeah, you mean like actual fog? Yeah.
It's a very frustrating situation, because you just kind of want the fog to like, you want to be able to see the road in front of you, but you can't. You only can see a certain distance, right? Especially really foggy days. Your nervous system is very cloudy to you. It's very, very cloudy. And being in this Capricorn energy, which is the body, like the bones of the body, it really is something you almost have to be consciously aware of every day and go, okay, is this stressing me? Am I feeling stressed? You have to like tune into your own Richter scale. Do you know the Richter scale to measure earthquakes?
Yeah.
You have to consciously, using your mercurial Aries mind, consciously tune into your own internal Richter scale to check and see where you're at, because it lives in the fog. It's very foggy, and then you don't notice it until suddenly you do notice it, and then you just volcanoed on your friend or your partner or your lover or whoever.
Yeah.
And that in turn actually really affects your health. This is a little asteroid here I like to put in readings called Hygeia, and she is the asteroid of preventative medicine. And like washing your hands is hygiene, the word hygiene. So keeping yourself healthy. So when you do blow up in an angry way, it really affects your health and can take you out and make you sick, like physically. You can get a cold, you can get the flu, you can get sick, like actually sick. So being aware of your stress level and the things that do stress you, and then figuring out consciously what are your symptoms before the volcano blows up. And really taking conscious note of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, definitely.
help you as you mature through your 30s. You're such a you're such a baby. Oh my God. As you mature through your 30s, this will help you to really recognize your nervous system. And this is actually going to be a tough couple years for you, because Saturn in the sky, first of all, you just had your Saturn return not too long ago. And Saturn in the sky is going through Pisces, which is the nebulous sign. So he kind of is making things even more foggy. So you really have to work hard on a daily basis to tune in to like, wait, how do I feel? Is this stressing? Is this a trigger for my body? I kind of feel, like you said, frustration, right? But how does frustration show up for you? You know? So those are the questions to ask.
Yeah. I feel like now looking at your chart, I'm like, you were born, you were born so quickly and became an Aries just so you could finish up and learn that last bit of how to be angry and how to communicate it. Because
Amen.
there's a T-square. Yeah, there's a T-square with Uranus, Neptune, and then across to Mars. And then, this other point that goes straight to your sun, which is at 29 degrees 54 seconds in Aries, that last bit in the third house of communication. And I feel like this is just telling you, like, when you get stressed, when you get frustrated, and when you have Mars there in the water that has a bit of trouble, like Laura was explaining, you need to use your Aries energy with your words. You really need to, yeah. And I know you quite a bit. We've been working together for a while, and I can see this now when I look at your chart, that sometimes I see you and I see that you're frustrated, and I see that you're like, there's so much going on within you, and sometimes words comes out, but it's like half words and half sentences, and then you go back and then you change the way. But I don't know, I feel like maybe you're scared to really be that straightforward and say what you really mean,
Well,
because you
it
think
causes
might...
attention.
Yeah.
That's what a square is. These short red lines, you were literally born with this planet and this planet having a very tense conversation. Now, I know you've been in a room where two people is having a tense conversation. That energy radiates, right? Like, you can feel that. So that tension is literally within you. So when you do go to speak your anger or frustration or stress level out, it does feel like it causes attention. Like, you don't want to, but you want to, but you don't. And to make matters a little bit more intense, you have all of these Aries energies here, Venus, Mercury, and your moon, very, very close together. And they're in the second house, which is ruled by Taurus. Taurus is a very slow and steady energy. So this could make it a little bit challenging to find words. Like, you've got the energy behind it. It's almost like somebody gives you 30 seconds to find a word in a dictionary, and you have to like fly through it really, really fast. And it flusters you. You get very flustered trying to find this word in the proper time, because people, there's pressure. People want you to communicate it, and the emotions are coming up, and the sea inside of you, the ocean inside of you, is getting really hot and all over the place, because Mars is getting real activated over here, right? So as the energy builds, it's like your ability to find words and use them kind of disappears. The more and more and more it grows, and then you have to have the explosion in order to reset the system, so you can then speak the words out. Is that how that shows up for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. And then also words that I don't want to say, but also comes out if.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that I think happens to a lot of people when they're in that like really triggered state. You say stuff that you regret.
Oh yeah, this is a great sign for putting your foot in your mouth. Oh, good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh damn it, why did I say that? And like,
and that foot in the mouth syndrome can easily be the thing that damages relationships too, because we've got 8th house energy, which is this death and rebirth and renewal energy with Jupiter there. And across from the way you speak and communicate, almost exactly 7 degrees Jupiter, Libra, 6 degrees Mercury, Aries. So that's an exact opposition. And this is a great energy for putting your foot in your mouth, saying something before thinking, and then saying something to hurt someone unintentionally. And then the relationship just blows up and it's done. That can happen with this energy easily.
Yeah. And I think I've tried to protect myself from that happening by just suppressing and people pleasing and not saying what I want to say.
How's that going?
Because so that didn't go very well. So that's what I've been working on the last few years so I have started this work of like actually saying what I want to say. And acting helped me a lot with that, actually, because that is pretty much all you do. You just put words into on the energy and like improvising stuff. So, but I definitely need to do more work on that. Of course, you're never done.
Oh, right.
But
I want to add that with like what I said about being angry. I don't mean screaming and shouting. I mean that strong fears, like, hang on, I didn't like that. And if you feel like you are getting flustered and it's like, and you don't know what to say because you don't want to say the wrong thing, you could just say, I'm feeling very something right now. Can we take this at another time? just to honor that emotion, say that emotion, I'm feeling very whatever right now. I can't talk about it right now, but I would like to talk to you about this at another time. So that you can feel that you can own your words.
Yeah.
And that you're not scared to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I work with my kids a lot, and I have 5 of them, and my older 3 have very strong elemental placements. I've got one really earth dominant child, one really fire, and one really water. And frequently when they are really, really heated, we really use a lot of elemental language, right? And I get real hot real fast, and I'll say, I can't talk to you right now. I'm going to say something mean, right? I'm too hot. Mama needs to go cool off, or I need to go burn some of this heat off, right? I use a lot of elemental words. And when I come back, we talk about it, and I'll say like, okay, I burned out now. I'm good. And we can communicate. So, and same thing with my kids. Like if you are stuck in my oldest son, are you stuck in the mud? Are you stuck in the earth? Do you need help finding words? And he'll say yes. You know, or my youngest or my 3rd child who's all water. I say, are you stuck in your water and just need to feel the water? And she's like, yes. So we let them do what they need to do before we communicate. And that's been really helpful. And for you, you can tell people, I'm feeling really hot right now. I can't talk. I can't think. My brain is too hot, right? Heat is a big deal for you. Real big deal.
Yeah.
So use those elemental words. And if you can't find the words to communicate how you feel, again, step out, because you can burn a place down real fast. Like you really can. You got some power to burn some shit, which is cool. Some shit needs to be burned, right? But step outside, let yourself burn out. Aries tends to burn out quickly, and you can really use your water energy. You've got a good amount of water. You can use your water energy to kind of take the heat down, and you do that by breathing, right? Because the breath gets you back in touch with your body, the physical self, right? So step out, tell them you're too hot, step out and breathe. Find your words. Rehearse them if you need to, like an actress would, right? Present your case or your words or talk to whoever it is. That's going to help you really transform in relationships in a much healthier way. Much healthier. You'll be able to really express yourself and feel your feelings together when you've allowed yourself to take the time. It might be 30 seconds. It might be 2 minutes. It might be 20 minutes. Depends how hot you are, right? But take the time.
I'd say most commonly though, what happens in relationship is that I don't even get to the hotness. Like the water is just drowning it first, and I just like, oh yeah, cool. And then I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, wait, no, what? that didn't feel nice. But I'm so in the people pleasing that I'm like, oh yeah, cool, yeah. And then so that's also, I need to first get to actually allowing myself to get that hot and triggered, and then like processing that, I think.
It's a journey. It is a journey. And your 30s are really about going through those experiences and taking each experience and applying the wisdom to the next experience, right? Oh, I learned from that one. We're not going to do that again. Okay, next. All right, now let's take that wisdom we learned, or that knowledge we learned, and apply it. And that's how you gain wisdom. And you're still just newly in your 30s. And this is the decade of really experiencing that maturity, experiencing that Saturn energy you just went through. When Saturn comes over the top of Saturn, it's from 28 to 29 years old. It's really this time of growth. And it's really when our prefrontal cortex is fully developed. So now we get to start to mature into what that looks like. And for you, it's about setting boundaries, learning what you will tolerate or what you won't tolerate, and taking care of yourself. And the people pleasing, right? So making sure that we have these healthy boundaries there. So it's very much your lesson right now. That is what you are going through. And that's the maturity process. And you're in it. You're doing good.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's yeah.
Do you have any questions or concerns or anything? Anything coming up while we're chatting?
When you said like you have a few like hard years in front of you, I was like, I'm so done.
Oh, no, you're not.
Like, no, I'm not done. Like, but like, oh, can I just get a break? But yeah, I guess
that's the beauty of the
It's cool,
transiting
yeah.
planets, because the transiting planets they're always, the planets don't stop. They're always going. And so we do get these little breaks. We do get these little bursts of goodness. And, whether Jupiter's in Taurus right now or whatever the planets are doing, they do bring us benevolent energy too. It's just we tend to focus more on the lessons, right? The harder things to overcome. But you've got such a lot of positive placements in your chart as well. Not that there's negative, but there are some that are challenging. But when you have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and relationship, at 3 degrees, and Mercury at 6 degrees, and then your moon at 7, Venus really influences that Aries energy, and she really softens it. So you don't come across as harsh as you could if Venus was, let's say, still in Pisces, right? So if she was still over here in Pisces, it would be different, but she's really, really softening this hot Aries energy. And she's going, okay, let's be a little bit smoother. Let's sand the edges a little bit. So she's really there to help you kind of embrace the beauty of Aries energy. And again, you really wanted to learn some Aries, like 29 degrees in 54 minutes with your sun sign.
Yeah.
You're like, I need to learn this. And
Yes.
Venus says,
Yeah.
okay, I'll help.
Yeah. I'll make it easier.
Right. She's really helping you to embrace the beauty of Aries, and Mercury there is helping you to embrace the mental amazingness of Aries. You have an amazing mental ability to be agile and quick and change and learn new things, always learning new things. Ooh, girl, you should learn forever, like never stop learning. It's very important to the foundation of your life. Second house is all about foundation. And let's talk about Venus in the second house. That's phenomenal for money. Hello.
Oh, really?
Bring it. Bring on the money. Right? That's
All
a
right.
really, happy placement for Venus in any chart. And then she's connected to this amazing trine to Pluto, and then over here to Mars, and then back down to Venus. That's some really positive energy for really maturing in finances and relationship, and that whole realm of Venusian things. What do you see
All
there?
right.
Me? Yeah, I was just thinking about all of this depth, because you have a lot of water as well. And because I know you and I know what you like and where you go, you do go deep. So I'm just seeing that, this money will come from you going deep,
Yes.
You will, you have to. And I was thinking also when we were talking about how you get back in your body and how to move weirdly. And with that Mars in Cancer, which is a water sign, and it's very intuitive, that you need to move through life in an intuitive way and be very intuitive and like this with your body, and really allow that in everything. And then we have and then the connection with Pluto in Scorpio, which is the very the depth of everything. And I know that you have a connection to that depth, and just keep going with that, because that is what will bring you the money,
Right.
Right.
That's interesting.
money.
Because like I keep getting messages like, oh, you're so good at manifesting money and like in tarot readings and stuff, and I'm like, so where is it?
Yes,
So like, but then I also have this feeling of like I have this, like in my what we talked about in my spiritual world, I'm a fucking billionaire, like, and I'm confused sort of like, but why is it so? Why is it not here in my physical world? Because I can feel it. And everybody says, just feel it and it'll arrive. And I'm like, but I'm feeling it. Like, I don't, but I guess that I'm moving and do the money dance maybe, and I'll be.
Yeah. But it's not, I mean, it's about money, it's about resources. And I just saw your house the other day, and you have an amazing home, like a minute from the ocean. You know, you lost your horse recently, but you had a horse. I mean, not many people have a horse, and you have all of these wonderful things in your life. They are huge resources, and don't forget about those things. You know, you have a lot. You can build more, but you have good stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
It's important to recognize that Mars is our drive, it's our ambition, it's our goal, it's our car we move through life in. And your Mars is in the sign of mothering, nurturing, feeling, and healing. So your money is going to show up when you feel your feelings authentically, and you show this in your 11th house. Look, it's just barely, but it's in your 11th house, which is community and groups and humanitarian, efforts. Basically, you get to help humanity heal and feel, and then the money comes. So you can feel it because it is there, and you do feel it, right? It's feelings, and you still have to practice feeling your own feelings. And showing other people how to transform. Pluto is all about transformation, how to go deep and transform and do this. So when you do the daily practice of feeling your feelings, meditating, getting in your body, getting in touch with your spirit and your intuitive self, when you do all the woo-woo stuff in a consistent way. Now, I didn't say the same thing every day. You don't have to do the same thing every day, because you're not going to. That's dumb.
No. And that's boring. I like.
We know better than that. You're not going to do the same thing every day, but you do have to do something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you journal one day. Maybe the next day you go for a swim. Maybe the next day you go to the stables and go play with a horse, right? Whatever you do has to be getting you more in touch with actually feeling, and then putting that out there some way, somehow. A blog, a podcast, a little community that you make, but something on a grander scale than you. 11th house energy, out there energy. It's bigger than us.
Yeah.
And so when you connect your drive and ambition with this going deep and transforming, and then really, really communicating your feelings in a loving way, right? You're not communicating it to cut somebody down or be rude, right? But in a loving way to do the healing that you need. That's when the physical money will start to show up. That's when the relationships, the networking, all of that's going to really start to manifest. And that's what you're going to learn in your 30s. That's the journey of that. So you're getting there.
So it sounds like my TikTok with my paintings and my spoken words is like pretty much spot on.
I think so.
So that's what I'm about to like really put my energy into. Yeah.
Yes, because also you have this connection from Pluto to Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer, and you have Chiron in Leo, which is that being on a stage, making a name for yourself, putting yourself out there on TikTok or whatever, allowing the light to be shone on you, like really allowing that and taking up that space.
Yep.
That is also something that you are here to learn and heal. Yeah,
because that is one of the things that I've been like scared why I haven't done it yet, because I'm like, I think it's a bit of a witch wound as well, of like, if I put myself too much out there, persecution. Like it's
yeah.
like my body just jumps to that. I'm like, wait, that doesn't happen now. Right?
That's because in no other time in history that we actively know of was this kind of conversation really acceptable, right? Like it's been really persecuted for millennia now by religious institutions or whatever. So women specifically have been, how many countless thousands of women have been killed for whatever, whatever witchy kind of thing. So yes, many of us, myself included, have died in past lives, horrible deaths, because of our healing abilities, our intuitive spiritual connection, and our witchiness, right? And you are definitely here to go deep and deal with death that you've experienced in the past. And this like 11th house, 12th house cusp thing with Pluto is like right on the verge of heal humanity and past life stuff, spiritual stuff, right? Like it's right on the verge of these two houses. So I can tell where you would feel that for sure. And Chiron is being activated almost by Mars in the sky. So it's about time for you to really activate and take action on healing this wound. So now that you are aware you have Chiron, the wounded healer in Leo, and your self-esteem is kind of it's triggered by being seen, by showing up. And Mars is over here coming up on Chiron going, I don't care, we're going to do it anyway. We don't want to be seen, we're a little nervous, but we're going to do it anyway. So you said like I haven't done it yet. Well, in about 2 degrees, you can go ahead and do that. Mars is at 15 degrees and Chiron's at 17 degrees. So pretty much any day now you could take that step.
All right. And I can feel it coming.
You will not be burned at the stake, I promise.
Thank you. I'll hold you to it. Yeah, it's funny because I can feel the energy coming. I started it a little bit, and then we went through like a grieving process because, like Helena mentioned, my horse that has been with us for 18 years had to be put down. But so I lost the flow there a little bit. But now I can feel, and I can feel him as well pushing that this has to happen now. And I've also, it's funny how like in separate tarot readings they've said like August, sort of the summer, there's something's gonna happen, public space, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. I guess I need to start posting. Something's gonna go viral soon, but I don't know, like.
Well, that's interesting because August is Leo season, and the sun will be transiting through Leo. So maybe when the sun is conjunct Chiron or on top of it, and the sun is shining a bright spotlight on this key. Look at it. It's a key, right? I always think this is the key to our chart.
Yeah.
If we heal this, everything else kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
So like the sun coming over the top of Chiron would be a phenomenal time for you to really show up. And look at Chiron is just 2 degrees off from your rising sign. 19 Sagittarius. So we've got this beautiful energy of a trine. And this is a great conversation. These short red lines, that's a tense conversation. The blue lines are like, oh yeah, we're just chit-chatting astrology. Doesn't everyone just do that? Yeah, totally normal, right? It's an easy conversation between how you show up in the world and being recognized and being courageous and being bold with this Leo Chiron. So honestly, August would be a great time for you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So Mars will go over the top, kind of activating like, ooh, I should get the car started and get the car loaded and get ready to drive, right? Get ready for this trip I'm taking called healing myself and putting my shit out there. And then you're going on the trip in August, and we can actually get you the date if you want a specific date. We can get you.
That would be so fun, and go back and see. Yeah.
We can tell you when the sun will be on top of Chiron, and then you can put that on your calendar. That here's my launch date that I'm going to put this thing out there.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
That's so fun. That's so cool.
I love that. I love that. Helena, you see anything else jumping out at you, or is that about it for today?
Well, I was thinking about your horse, Fanny, and I was thinking about how I loved his name. His name is, you want to say it?
Lego. So like
Lego.
Lego.
And
like
exactly. And I said it in my head in English, like Lego. I'm like, that sounds like let's go and let go.
yeah.
And
It does, yeah.
and yeah, and I just, I know you were talking before about with me, that you feel like he moved on so that he could help push you forward, and that's like
Yeah.
that, let's go, let go, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that he put
And
that energy behind you.
Yeah. And like I just a few days after his passing, I did a bit of an oracle card reading with like, do you have any messages? And I was a bit too much in my grief, so I couldn't really meditate and like communicate with him. But I was like, I'll ask the cards, and then one of the cards was Släpp taget, which obviously means let go in English, and I was like, and then I actually thought of that, like let go, and then if you like say it a bit quickly, it sounds like Lego, and I was like, okay, yeah, I hear you.
I also think about Legos. I mean, we have a whole room dedicated to Legos here. My gosh.
Yeah.
And Legos are this very unique block structure that you can really build anything out of, right? And that's very much this Plutonian energy. Pluto is destruction or death, so that you can build something new and have a rebirth, right? So you have Pluto as part of this big trine in your chart, which is, this is your gift energy. This is what you're really good at. Lean into this energy. And for you, that transformation and death and rebirth cycle is very important for, like you said, kind of leveling up, right? He let go so that you could move forward in maturity and rebirth and renewal. And that is how that works for you. And it is very connected with your spiritual gifts and your intuitive abilities, with Neptune and Pluto having a sextile, and of course Uranus. And that is going to cause sudden change and sudden chaos and sudden death at some point, right? Not necessarily a physical death, but some type of death in your life. And then that again helps you transform and grow and change, which helps you feel your feelings and helps you with your drive and ambition to then connect with relationships in a new and a deep way. And then keep that cycle going over and over, and then you're just figuring out life right there. Look at that. You got all the answers.
Okay, cool. Then we're done. Yeah, but it's also nice to see that the suddenness it shows in my chart, because that is one of the things that I've been like. I think my rational mind is like, oh, you should do it more human. You should do it more in like a linear way and like where it makes sense. And it's like my whole being is just like, no, let's do it like this. And just suddenly, just like everything happens at once, and then like the ketchup effect. I don't know, like just nothing, everything, and like.
Yeah. You can't
and
have Uranus in the first house and not have sudden shit happen, right? Like
yeah.
you showed up in the world very suddenly.
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
I don't tell you, but that's how it works.
And also, I was 2 weeks late, but then boom.
Yes,
that's funny. And it's tough. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun chatting with you. I hope this has
this has been amazing. So much. Thank you so much.
What's one takeaway that you'll walk away with today? I'm curious.
It's that kind of confirmation that like this actually, like how I am, and there's so much in the world of like you should fit into a specific box, and I hate the fucking box. Like I hate it with a passion, and now just to be like, yeah, no, that we have an individuality for a reason, and it's just nice to get that sort of mirrored to you, and kind of brings you back to kind of self acceptance of
You know what fits in a box really well is earth energy, and fire energy and water energy does not fit in a box very well.
No.
Don't burn that box down and then the water goes psh. So no,
Yeah.
no boxes for you. No.
No, good. Good.
Burn the box so the water
box.
can flow. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
definitely.
so glad you enjoyed this. I have so much fun reading people's charts. Thanks for
Yes.
inviting her on
Yeah.
there, Helena.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
This was a proper reading, so
Thank you. Good.
Excellent. And if you liked our show, please like it, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. You can buy us a tea or a coffee if you want to financially support us. Or if you would like to be on the show, send us an email and we will randomly schedule you, because that's how we do it.
It will always be like that. It will always be like that.
Thanks for listening and watching, everybody. Take care.
Bye.